And that's what brought Stan Bourne to Washington to lobby Congress. This exhibit reimagines the concept of a house, but who's going to pay for it? Both Congressman Davis and LaHood say if the president wants to punish China for unfair trade practices, he should work with, not against, ally countries. The Dome of the Rock behind me is one of the holiest sites in both Judaism and Islam. The party establishment is backing McDonald's franchise owner Kevin Hearn, while conservative groups have spent more than $300,000 in support of Iraqi war veteran Andy Coleman. Tariffs on Canadian lumber and Chinese steel are going to drive up prices.
We're looking at about $7,500 being added to the typically newly built single-family home.
Builder Marty Mitchell says he's already seen an increase in lumber prices, which he must pass on.
It's really just squeezing on the margin of all the builders around the country.
According to Congressman Darren LaHood, tariffs eventually will impact consumers.
The cost to steel and aluminum because of our tariffs, that gets put on to customers and buyers and gets passed along to individuals, which is again a tax.
Congressman Rodney Davis says these tariffs hurt.
Not having supplies or supplies being priced out of the marketplace is going to stop many families from being able to achieve the American dream of owning their own home.
President Trump hasn't given any indication that he's going to be reversing course on tariffs anytime soon. Both Congressman Davis and LaHood say if the president wants to punish China for unfair trade practices, he should work with, not against, ally countries. In Washington, D.C., Alison Caliguire, WCIA 3, your local news leader. While there may be a front yard and a backyard,
then you walk through our white picket fence, you'll see the fun house, which has lots of rooms in it that are modeled after the rooms that you would see in a real house.
This isn't an ordinary house. This exhibit reimagines the concept of a house. It's interactive and it's fun!
Our mission here is to inspire curiosity in the world that we design and build.
There are holes in the walls, shoes on the ceilings, and instead of water, there are plastic balls in the pool.
We want to encourage people to interact with our installations, explore the world that we've built here, and maybe think about their surroundings in a different way once they leave.
Kids being kids and adults being kids too.
Kind of makes everyone a kid again.
Visitors like 9-year-old Abigail are finding inspiration around every corner.
I would want it to be 10 times bigger.
The National Building Museum expects nearly 100,000 people to pass through the exhibit, all of which is recyclable, inspiring kids and adults to think outside the box. In Washington, D.C., Alison Caliguire, WCIA 3, your local news leader. Not much keeps Kaylee down for long. She loves playing with her sisters, pulling pranks, and just being a kid.
Kaylee's never lost an ounce of energy.
But right now, Kaylee is fighting for her life. She was diagnosed with cancer on her 6th birthday.
It was devastating.
Kaylee is on an aggressive treatment plan of radiation and chemotherapy, one that her dad says gives her an 85% chance of survival. Those odds make them optimistic, but when Kaylee first got the diagnosis, he says he and Kaylee's mom were petrified.
You hear the word cancer, it's like, oh my God, she's gonna die, you don't know what's gonna happen.
I kind of lost it.
Kaylee has already gone through 2 surgeries to remove the tumor and one of her kidneys. And because of her treatment, Kaylee does feel some side effects. Sometimes she's more tired than normal. Other times, she gets sick.
Sometimes it's like she's not sick, and it's easy to get through the day, and then sometimes it's why.
But Kaylee's parents find their strength watching their little girl fight.
She's just so amazing. I didn't know that she could be so strong. I try to be that strong for her. It's just hard sometimes.
That's your friend Jack?
She'll never give up that fight.
Kaylee has treatment nearly every day, and that will continue through next December. If Kaylee weren't sick, she'd be right here in kindergarten class at St. Rose of Lima in North Syracuse. Do you miss Kaylee? Not being at school is tough on Kaylee and tough on her classmates.
I love her 1,000. This is my card.
Even though Kaylee's away, her seat isn't empty.
What does Banana Jack like? Banana Jack likes Kaylee.
Banana Jack is a special monkey, and it's pretty clear that everyone loves him. He's in Mrs. Cianchetta's kindergarten class in place of a special little girl.
I have a monkey there when I'm not at school.
Banana Jack sits in Kaylee's seat, goes to computer class.
I said he needs to put the alphabet together.
And even lunch. All to remind the class of Kaylee, even though Kaylee is hard to forget. You and Kaylee are best friends?
In the whole school.
But many of you may be wondering about the name Banana Jack.
I have Jack in my class already, but I wanted to put it a little different, so I put banana, then Jack.
Then Jack, that makes sense. Is Jack your friend? Kaylee's mom says that Jack is Kaylee's best friend. He even came and visited her in the hospital. And at Jack's birthday party last weekend, Kaylee wore her brand new outfit and played with Jack the entire time.
That's just so innocent.
The entire time we were at the school, Jack was holding on to Banana Jack, walking him to and from computer class and sitting next to him all day.
This is how much I missed the 100.
Even though it's just a crush, Kaylee's dad says he's always going to be protective of his little girl.
I've always said, you know, shotgun and the shovel. If you mess with my daughter, I'll be right there.
But after seeing how strong Kaylee is,
I'm more worried about the boy because there's nothing she can't handle.
Alison Caliguire, NCC News.